Hello, Ms. Eaton.
Hello.
Hello, Michael.
Hi there, Ernie. How you doing?
It is so much fun to have you here. Boy, what a journey your character has been on.
Yeah, it's been quite something, hasn't it?
His name is Alastair Bruce, and he is our guest right now across the pond.
Well, you know, I was most proud of both being the Lord Chamberlain reading out the introduction of Lady Rose, but also putting together that whole court scene in Buckingham Palace and researching it at Windsor Castle, getting all the details and bringing it to life, including the very music that had been played for King George V and Queen Mary, that sort of detail, bringing it to life, making it work, and everybody, including the King, was wearing precisely the right medals. I loved that.
One last question before I let you go. A lot of people speculate whether or not they want to see Branson, Tom, and Mary to get together. How do you fall on that?
No.
No.
No. I want some white knight to come up and take her.
Oh, yeah. On his steed.
Exactly.
I mean, what is extraordinary is such a large ensemble cast. You would think there might be a couple of people in the room that you couldn't, you know, that you'd have to watch out for because they were always having a fight or something. And I long for those stories because they're more interesting, but it just doesn't happen.
People have responded. They notice little things that happen in the stories that I've come to sort of accept audiences will never notice. And yet I find that they do in this case, and it means something to them. So I have no idea why. If I did, everything I ever worked on would have this effect.
They use a lot of the castle, the corridors, the stairs. They use a lot of the outside. They use a lot of the gardens, the farm, my goodness. And sometimes they're pretending what they film with us is actually Maggie Smith's dower house. So the whole thing is a real muddle.
Lots of elements of this show just seem to gel. And like for instance, with Sophie, I never met Sophie before the first day I rehearsed with her. Could have been terrible. She could have been a complete brat, but she wasn't.
But she wasn't.
But she wasn't. She's adorable.
So how early on did you know your character was going to like cake?
That was one of the audition scenes.
We want to make sure that the hashtag I love cake takes off. That's our big goal now.
I'll get it, chiseled onto my tombstone when I die.
As the series progressed, after we finished filming episodes 1 and 2, the producers came up to me and said, "Listen, we love what you're doing. Would you love to stay on for another 2 series?" And I was like, "Yes, please." Because it helps to pay the mortgage.
There's a lovability to this show, and the comfort level is so extreme. It's the kind of show that people watch who've kind of given up on episodic television. They come back for something like Downton Abbey. No show can go on forever. The actors will want to do other things. Julian and I will want to do other things. And most importantly of all, we have to get out while people still love the show. And, it would be awful. So many movies go to sequels that people don't, and the sequels aren't as good as the originals, and TV shows very often can outstay their welcome by a couple of years. So we don't want that to happen to us. We want to make sure that we end absolutely the right time. And my real dream is that even when we eventually end the show, that it will continue to be repeated, and that PBS will show it for years to come, and that people will watch it on DVD and really remember it very fondly.